I'm back. Thanks for your patience. But I also would like to say congratulations to Chris Potter. Um, he finally has a team, an entity that is appreciating his knowledge and his work. So therefore, shout out to Chris. Congratulations. Now at least you don't have to worry about anyone taking your information and not utilizing it in the proper light. Kudos, kudos, kudos. Um, I also no longer trap. He had a camping trip for kids um, this summer, which I was told and I heard and I believe was a success. Congratulations to those. Congratulations to all the folks who put together their backpack giveaways and get ready kids for school going back to class with their new backpacks and new aspirations of big things and new teachers and new friends and all that stuff. So I'm wishing all of the students, young and old, a great year, a great year of learning. Hopefully, the legislation of teaching Black history is going to finally be in this year's curriculum, pre-K all the way up. About time. I know folks are still uncomfortable, some folks, I should say, are still uncomfortable with that fact, but nevertheless, it's finally here. I would also like to take the moment, if anybody out there is aware of where the Child Advocate's Office is with regards to their investigation, their report from 2017, 18, or 20, when in fact it should be from 2015, going back that far. Please give me a shout out. Let me know what you know. I would greatly appreciate it. And we can talk about that. We could talk more about that simply because of the fact that it needs to be conversed because there's too many things that are hidden and too quiet. Okay. The court system also needs to be looked at, needs to be talked about because there's some vacancies here in the state of Rhode Island that some candidates that are qualified, and then there's some that are there that that it's a hookup from the floor up. So it's like who's zooming who this time around. It's always got us pegging against the other for one or two or three seats, when in fact we're still not enough of us on those benches. Okay, not enough at all. I would also like to talk about uh the Attorney General's $40,000 to the NAACP Providence branch. I don't know where that stands other than if anybody, in fact, if anybody has taken up the responsibility to have a conversation with the Attorney General about turning over that money because it is in fact a hinder to the organization when in fact he is looking or has a beef or a bone or whatever you want to call it with the chairman of the organization. But that issue has absolutely nothing to do with the services and the programs and all that the organization stands for. That $40,000 was earmarked for the organization and it needs to be released to the organization, period. My opinion, but I'm an outsider knowing these things and speaking about them. And I also think that it is disappointing to see that our folks, nobody came out questioning any of that stuff. And they should have, because what was done was totally distasteful, totally distasteful, you know. But nevertheless, if anybody knows about that, give me a little shout out, give me a little something so that I can further talk about it, so that we can further talk about it and see where we can go from there. Um, this 40 acres and a mule. Reparations has been a huge conversation here in the capital city, Providence, Rhode Island. Um, and there was some movement with regards to it in the previous mayoral administration. Unfortunately, it's been derailed, it's been stopped, it's been, you know, dissected. I am not too quite sure, but it's not happening. There was too many loose ends to it, my understanding, for it to really happen and materialize the way that people were hoping that it would. But nevertheless, it's a work in progress, maybe. I don't know. Because the AAAG, African American Ambassador Group, were in the lead with that. And they, to date, with this new administration, has been dismantled per se. So I believe that there are still ongoing meetings, but not as intense as it was previously under the old administration. So realistically, how much information with regards to the reparation, and if it's going to be a reality here in the capital city, or in the state or somewhere, I have not enough information to share on that. But if anybody out there has it, then bring it on. Come on, let's talk about that one too. Because realistically, we still have real plantations going on here in the state of Rhode Island. It's dressed up. They're dressed up, but they are plantations at the end of the day. It is. And there are four major ones going on. But I'm going to leave that like that till we have an open dialogue so that others can say where they believe these plantations exist. So, think about it. They take us and strike that. They take black people and some brown people and they put them, the corral them in one or two or three or four areas, and they call, yes, diversity, equity, and inclusion. We're doing it. We're the best. We got them all over here. But realistically, it's all smokescreen, in my opinion, because those plantation location is exactly that, because those four major areas are not the only places that Black and Brown, Indigenous, Native American should be. No, there's a whole lot of place where it's more meaningful than just those four, you know? Think about those places. There's four, there's probably a couple more, but I know of four that are extremely popular. And folks are happy to be there because you know what? That's what they got. And it's working for them. And I'm happy for them. I'm not begrudging them in any way, shape, or form. It's cool. It's cool like that. Now, I don't see anybody coming on and chatting or any of that good stuff. I would love to have that conversation. But nevertheless, I'm here. I'm here and hoping that you come on. All of you just come on and let's talk about stuff. So, what do you think about yesterday's outcome with the general election, with the primary election, excuse me, the primary election, the winner? There's been some interesting comments on Facebook itself, but you know, the opinions haven't been really as interesting as I would have hoped by now. Some folks are very concerned about being backlashed, being talked about in a negative way. But, it's your opinion and you're entitled to your opinion. And it's good. It's good. Here comes this technical difficulty again. I'm telling you, talking about being censored, it's not fair, but you want to come in, just come on in. Like, share, please. But this is not fair at all. It's like wondering what all I want to bring out and tell y'all. I can tell you an awful lot, but I want you all to also have a dialogue with real talk with me with regards to some of the topics that I mentioned. You know, it's not about me and my opinion or my experience, but it's about you, your interest in the state of Rhode Island and Black and Brown and Indigenous community here, and how they're still lacking in spite of what some claim to have. We are having a lot of progress going on, you know? But I keep getting this flash on here, and it's like, come on now. Come on. What else you want me to do? I already did all of this stuff. Come on. So I apologize again because for some reason I have to pause. And it ain't for the cause that my personal situation, but rather whatever interference they're trying to once again do. Give me a couple of minutes and I will be right back.